Amityville in Space is another Mark Polonia schlock. And Miracle of Miracles, it's a sequel to Amityville Exorcism, so it is not just a standalone. There is no question of the relatability of the two movies. It is a direct sequel! The priest, Jeff Kirkendall's character, is back and recognized for the past events. In my headcanon, he organized the organization of Amityville Vibrator too. And Jeff actually does a decent job in this role this time. He won't win any award, but his acting is serviceable at least. And this whole movie, well, it is important to the Amityville franchise and in the curse, whatever the timeline is. But even that aside, and especially as we are talking about a Polonia project, the script is fine. Again, won't win any awards, but there is no serious issue with it. It has decent pacing, it has natural flow, its logic isn't too wacky, it creates situations, it has characters more or less, and the acting is, well, again, isn't too bad, and not at all wooden. Praise for all small things. There was no way this reaches to the heights of the poster, but no one expected that. Well, again, the effects are low budget, but they serve their function, and most of the times they are pretty fine. I mean, the space shots are computer wallpaper material. What turns out to be the demon is well-designed mask, and even the missile launch is not cheap stock animation. What doesn't work here is the locations. Okay, we are a low-budget production, so no one expects many sets, and what the movie has is actually decently utilized. We have space where things are floating around. We have spaceship, which is unfortunately Polonia's permanent tinfoil set, and that's on one side, yeah, I recognized it, and on the other side is just cheap. We have seen it in Amityville Island amongst other Polonia films. Well, I've seen other Polonia films, you probably didn't. And we also have the house. That's the biggest flaw in the schlock because it's just a house. I know, it is a house, but it is a house in space. I can forgive the cheap plastic blasters bought at the local $1 Asian shop, but why don't we have some creative lightings? Not that they couldn't do it, as we can see it in some shots, but mostly it is just boring scattered light, either daylight or very boring studio lighting, I don't know, but it is just boring. You couldn't make your spaceship more technological looking with some better metallic looking material, or that all around you green screen at some part of the shots. Okay, whatever, but the lighting of this movie is just so boring. This thing had to look like Robotica Destructiva, some insanity, or if you are incompetent, the amazing Buck. Look out! Also, you are making a movie. Move your actors around. I'm so bored. People standing in place or sitting in place and doing nothing whatsoever. Make them walk a few steps. Make them pick up props or something turning around, or because this is boring. Thus, despite a working script, not the worst acting, and fine visual effects, this movie will be forgotten and not to get better ratings because they half-assed it. So, we started the house. reporters and all the gathering to observe the event that Jeff is going to exorcise the place. He loses his hand in the process, but God fulfills his wish to send the house away from this earth. Then, after the necessary credits, we switch to a space crew. Their task is to destroy black holes. Don't ask questions, it is movie logic. At least there aren't many. I mean, the crew is only assembled from 4 plus a robot. Interesting. Though fully covered, it's not a double role even. On the other hand, I don't see the Amityville demon on the credits. Don't worry, it will show up embodied eventually, and I will watch the credits for the actors. If it gets a credit, I will tell you. Also, not many black holes to be destroyed. We are at the last rocket, so we are at the last black hole. And to our luck, there is even the house turning up too. So the conflict is right at our doorstep, and the contact officer is into the captain, by the way, who is into the lab woman, so we have a love triangle or something going around to spice things up if the things would sit down. The crew, the house floating around a black hole, and it reminds me of a Doctor Who episode, The Impossible Planet. See, why isn't the whole thing green screen? And why is this woman Psy? I'm not offended by that Psy thing being underutilized, as it gives her the necessary oomph to stand out from the crowd. So that's okay in my book. Vox the robot is torn into pieces in the next moment when it boards the house, and despite previously claiming it is easy to fix it, it is gone from the movie. Well, that's low budget production for you. Whatever, we found Jeff. That's the worst my hand is cut off prop I've ever seen in any movie. And no, those computers were not even turned on. The thing is, Jeff tried to blow up the house and is now told Earth is the past, humankind moved on. The film gives exact dates for the events, but I don't care. We didn't care since the second movie, so moving on. I like how the captain keeps everything in hand. At 40:55, I think they attempt to reach through the monitor, but had no idea how to achieve the effect, or needed another take with the intended thing. This is awkward. Well, Mark Polonia and Ed Wood style productions since, Ed Wood. At 43 minutes we get a scene straight out from a phantasm movie. It's cool.
Черт побери! Сдохни уже! Нет! Убери ее! Убери ее! Самоубийство — это грех.
And that computer screen looks like an editing program. 54.5 minutes? That's a lazy scene with a blaster firing. Nothing is consistent about it. What can I say? Legion influencing starship controls, or little crew starts a bit of a mutiny here. The plan is to blast the house with thermite, then finishing the job with the hole. For planting the explosive, they need to board the house, where Jeff will be the insurance. I'm glad they utilized this character aside being exposition dump for the crew. But on the board, the side control guy gets possessed and kills. What did the birded guy do? Oh well, in the house a monster attacks them. It might be an illusion, a demon, or an alien. Doesn't change a thing. The action is kind of fun. We see a lot of the potential this movie had, but still we needed better and more creative lighting. Where is Legion exactly at this point? In the end, our heroes win, but at what cost? Was this movie bad? As told you, no, it was perfectly fine. It had potential, it had an awesome poster, and it could achieve the level of not lying about it too much. But we needed lighting. Seriously, that is the only thing standing in the way, this being an underground fan favorite. Too bad.